to SDN Tech Forum. In last video, you saw how to manage an on-prem environment, say Raspberry Pi fleet, from your Amazon System Console, right? Or System Manager. So you can install a SSM agent, assign an IAM role, etc. so that your on-prem devices are easily managed or equally managed just like cloud resources, say EC2. So what you can do, you can run remote commands, you can fetch outputs, etc. completely managed from AWS console using System Manager. What I'm going to show you in this video, an extension of that. So other than running remote commands, how you can also start a remote session. That means you can actually log into the CLI if it is a Ubuntu or Linux based system, how you can access the CLI, and that is called Session Manager. So let's learn about that, and it doesn't come without caveats. So I would highlight some of the requirements slash caveats so that you are aware. And whenever we are dealing with cloud resources, we have to mindful with costing, right? So cost is a very important, if not big, very important component. So I'll highlight some of the nitty-gritty of that. Let's get started. So we are here, AWS System Manager. We'll go to Fleet Manager and find our remote device, which is a Raspberry Pi sitting on-prem. As you can see in previous video, we have already registered or activated this fleet. Hence, you can see it or find it from AWS System Manager console. All right. Once I go to my particular node, here I have node overview, OS is Raspbian, and this is the complete inventory. So I have pretty much all the details or visibility about my on-prem device. What is the architecture looks like, what is the system file, and etc. Let's look at association. So once you do a hybrid activation, this association is by default, which is gather software inventory. Obviously, you want to discover your patch. Then you can do a patching, you can do config compliance, and we will talk about config compliance, etc. when we go to AWS administrative side of the house. Right now, as you can see, my node is discovered and I have pretty much all the details, but it says Fleet Manager is unable to start the session and some issues like you don't have the KMS store set up and etc. So let's figure out how I can actually log into my device, right? Start terminal session or execute run command. So you have seen execute run command in last video. So we are not going to do that. Here I want to start session and it says enable advanced instance tier to use Session Manager with your on-prem instance. So it is actually talking about a different tier of licensing. By default, I'm today using AWS account, which is part of free tier, and I can do pretty much everything. It's not restricted. Some things are free, some things I bear some small charges. But here, particularly for this feature, it is asking me to upgrade to a advanced instant tier. Let's find out what is that. So obviously we have to rely on Amazon documentation. Many of the things are still not available, and I'm hoping it is because we are not at the right tier. Okay, so let's go to Session Manager again. In System Manager, Session Manager, select your target instance, start session, and here we are saying enable advanced tier. So let's see what is System Manager pricing and what is the new advanced tier it is talking about, right? As I scroll through, I'll go to State Manager. Okay, no additional charges. Session Manager, no additional charges. For EC2 instance, advanced on-premise distance tier is required for using Session Manager interactively access on-prem devices. And here is the more details, right? You can set your account and region level settings. For on-prem, you'll be able to register 100 devices on-prem per account per region at no additional charge. Then where is the charge? System Manager advanced tier instance are priced on pay as you go basis. So just for Session Manager. If you run remote command, 1,000 fleet devices are free. But if you want access to the session, you want to start a session, you have to pay a very small charge, which is, as you can see, for advanced, that is 0.00069 US dollars, right? Say uh, very less, but still you have to pay, and you will pay not just for the session, how the amount of session you are logged in, but the amount of time your device is in advanced tier or it is registered within advanced tier. So once you register, your pricing is uh, ticking, it's going on all the time. So make sure, if you are just doing this thing for experience or for lab purposes, go ahead and deregister your device. So what we are doing right now, we are just going through the workflow. We accept that yes, this is on-prem instance and I want to upgrade myself to enable advanced instance. That means I'm willing to pay, and you hit change setting. That will change your tier pricing from standard to to advanced, and your billing will start. Okay, I'm facing some issues with the click here. Sometime it happened, but let me just live with the keyboard. Um, my left click is acting like a right click. Sorry about that. So once you complete that, you can see review and launch. So you have specified the target, you have specified the session document, and now we are ready to start the session. Okay, I'm just going to hit start session, and here you go. So I have the CLI access or shell access of my device, right? Just like as if I'm on-prem connecting my device, I can connect to the console from AWS for my on-prem devices. Let's look at the IP addresses, right? The IP address, as you can see, this is from 192.168. This is my home environment. So how I'm connecting, who I am, SSM user. So we are using SSM user, system manager, session manager to log in to an on-prem device. Very powerful, right? So now you have a consistent operation which takes care of your cloud resources as well as on-prem resources. Obviously, you pay a small price to access the session, and be aware that you'll keep paying. It's not based on the amount of session or amount of time you are accessing the session. Is just once you decide to upgrade, you will be keep on paying unless you deregister. So I just want to highlight that. And as you can see, we are logged in as SSM user, and you can do whatever you want. And once you're done, you can terminate your session. And as you can see, session manager, I have no ongoing sessions. You can go and watch session history and look at your previous sessions. So this is about how to manage on-prem fleet equivalent or as the same experience of your cloud resources, say EC2 and etc. So I hope you find this video useful. Please do like, subscribe, and share, spread the word. Thank you.